Welcome to Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11.
Well, good evening and welcome. It is Road X Night here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. I'm Caleb Hart. Chad Fitzpatrick into the booth for a whole bunch of not circle tracking. Well, we'll have a little bit of circle tracking, but Road X Night, weird road courses for a whole bunch of different divisions. This was a great show last year. I'm looking forward to tonight as well.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait for it. We got a whole bunch of different road courses. I believe 5 or 6. We got, kind of a somewhat of a figure-8 track road course. Then we got the 3/8s, and we're actually using a chunk of the 5/8s as well.
That's right. We'll finish the night off with bus racing. So, like I said, a little bit of everything tonight. Going to be a strange night, but going to be a fun one. And we'll start it off with our Youth Hornet division. It is the Nelson Motorsports Youth Hornets. So, again, the Youth Hornets do not keep points for the year, and the points are all done for the year anyway. So this is all for the glory, all for the trophy on the little mini boot, I guess is what this
mini
is.
Boot,
right?
or baby boot?
Baby boot it is. So let's take a look at the field. Kylie Ann Surian is on the pole. She's in the 67 car out of Snohomish, the James P. Gonis transmission machine. And next to her, Clint McCallum, the 29 out of Snohomish, the complete auto repair service entry.
46 is Calvin Dillaverne, and the 31, Elila Mashburn out of Marysville, sponsored by General Car Wash.
Bryson Wingfield, 65 out of Monroe, and the car sponsored by his papa, Tony Hill. 4 of Taylor Thompson out of Snohomish, sponsored by Weatherright Roofing.
The 11 of Keegan Mooney out of Bellevue, sponsored by Cars Custom Auto Repair Specialist. And the 35J of Hawk Jenkins out of Maltby, sponsored by Resch Printing.
It's Alexis Tubbs in the 23 out of Monroe. The DL Enterprises cars were green and underway. Sawyer Holden, the 32 from Snohomish. Weatherright Roofing sponsors him. And Braden Clark is in the 25 DW. That is Braden Clark that we're hanging out with, oh yeah, fuzzy dice dangling from the top of the cage. We're green and underway here on the little baby boots.
Shortly, as we got the 31 of that is Lila Mashburn going around, but the 67 clean and clear out in front, that is Kylie Ann Surian with about 6 to 7 car lengths, as we got a good battle for that third spot between Wingfield and the 29 of McGowan.
This is going to test our Youth Hornet drivers. We've thrown, mostly they've been on circle track. We threw a dog leg in the back to kind of make it a tri-oval a couple of times, but these kids are not used to turning right. It is all left all the time, different varying degrees of left. This will be the first time that, one, they got to set up the cars to be a little more neutral, be able to go both left and right. 2, they have to physically do it.
Yes, it's definitely a good practice run for them, for any of the Youth Hornet drivers that are going to move up to the Adult Hornet division, because when you're in the Adult Hornet division, you are never on a oval track. You're always on a road course. So this is definitely a good opportunity to get their feet wet to see what they're going to get themselves into when they get older.
And that's provided that they're going to move up into the Hornet division. We have had drivers bypass the Hornet stage and move into circle track only cars, but experience is experience, and seat time is seat time, and that's always a valuable thing no matter what division you're running.
Most definitely. It's just a little bit easier when you already have the car to move up.
True story. So you're looking at the 29 of McCallum, that's the 11 of Keegan Mooney, and hanging out behind him, Hawk Jenkins in the red, white, and primarily blue 35, giving Mooney a little love tap coming into the left, and then the big sharp left at the end of it is the 65 of Wingfield in third, chasing second place Calvin Dillaverne. Long ways between them and your leader Surian, but that's a big move by Wingfield for second.
Yeah, great move by him. The 46 Dillaverne got a little loose, and the 65 of Wingfield was able to capitalize. We'll see if he was a little bit faster than Dillaverne. He certainly is, as he's now starting to catch the 67 Assyrian. We'll see how long it'll take for him to reach him.
Whole lot of laps here on TAC tonight. You're going to see extended lap counts in a lot of the divisions. Road course is going to test the mettle, not just in their ability to do something different, but duration on this as well. As again, Surian leads Wingfield. That's now the battle for third with Dillaverne and McCallum getting after it for that third spot. Dillaverne 46, McCallum the 29, who has looked to the inside, but it's a real sharp corner there for Dillaverne that's going to hold him off for the time being. Now is he going to be able to make it through the weight transfer portion?
We'll watch and see what happens, and he does this time. A really good corner for Dillaverne. I'm noticing when he goes in through 1 and 2 on the 5th mile is where the back end is starting to go out on his car, and he's losing some ground as we got some issues now, as we got 2 cars going around, and we're going to try to stay green. Nope, we do not.
Okay, so Jenkins in the 35 and the 11 of Mooney became the problem there, and we got a couple of different angles of it coming through. Oh, yep, just a tap coming through. 2 drivers going for 1 spot, a little bit of sheet metal kicking off in the front. Let's take a second viewpoint of it right here.
Yeah, let's see what happens here. It looked like Mooney was trying to get underneath the 29 of McGowan, and unfortunately Hawk was already there, either going to choose to hit the car or the tire, and you probably are going to choose to hit the car instead.
Yeah, not clear going in through that portion of the turn, but that will happen. So we'll gather this field back up and let you guys know today's program. Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11 is brought to you by Gene Johnson Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. We're glad to have them on board as our sponsor of Home Track Heroes all year long. We're going to go single file here on this restart for the Nelson Motorsports Youth Hornets coming up.
So we will be back to green, and that last caution is not what the 67 Assyrian wanted. She definitely had a great lead, and now the whole field is stacked up. We are off and running once again, 22 laps to go.
Brandy Hood Promotions in car from Delaverne now, who runs third in our line with opportunity to see if he can do anything with Suryan and Wingfield. Wingfield's looked good so far. He is keeping very, very close to Kylie Ann up in the front of this.
Yeah, single file as we go on right now. Definitely single file restarts tend to help for divisions that have a lot of cautions. But all year long, these kids have been putting on a really good show, been very clean, doing a great job so far, putting them on practically their first road course ever. As Delaverne, that battle for third is starting to heat up as well as the lead as well.
Yeah, so we'll keep our eyes on both of them. We'll get the in-car shot from Delaverne as he's hanging out in third, getting the pressure from McCowan in the 29. Up in front of him, you got a good eye view of what Wingfield's trying to do different to find his way past Suryan, and so far Suryan has been absolutely studly in front of this. She's kept that advantage of 2 to 3 car lengths almost all race long.
Doing a great job, and I also like what Bryson Wingfield doing, watching to see what kind of line she is running and trying to do the opposite to maybe make sure that his car can get by. Obviously that's what he's doing, but just kind of watching, stalking his prey to see if he could pounce and take that position away.
I mean, you can drive through them, but you shouldn't. So
no,
at the end of the day, if you're going to pass them, you got to find some place in the race course where you can be in an alternate lane than they are and speed on through. They have gained some ground on the battle for third, fourth, and fifth. Sawyer Holden's starting to get involved. Sawyer Holden with the European sports car technology of the Porsche underneath. Those cars are used to turning right.
It's been a long time since I've seen a Porsche on a Hornet track. It was probably about 20 years ago since I've seen one. Delaverne going way out wide, and McGowan is now in jeopardy here of losing third. Possibly, maybe a little contact. We'll watch and see. Oh, yeah, definitely some contact there.
Thunk, but nice save by McGowan. And driving through and taking third over will be Holden. Right place, right time for the 32.
Yeah, he is definitely the man on the move right now. Started almost dead last, so that would be around 11th place, and he has moved up to third. We'll watch and see what happens. Definitely the fastest race car on the track. And here comes Alexis Tubbs as well in the 23.
Tubbs, multiple-time feature winner on the season, trying to hunt up one more. As there we are, 15 in, 15 to go, as Suryan, Wingfield, and Holden trying to run down those top two. Keep our eyes on Sawyer and see how he goes. As behind them, there is Tubbs, who Alexis having a great rookie season, good debut for her.
Most definitely. Sawyer Holden starting to slowly catch ground on the 67 and the 65. Sawyer Holden, a third-generation driver out here at Evergreen Speedway. His grandpa and his dad both have championships out here, but a great battle shaping up for the lead, as a great battle as well shaping up for fourth.
And there goes McCowan, who will sneak by Delaverne, and just like that, you can see where Holden is making up a ton of its time, and it's in that top of the boot, basically, is where he has caught those two.
Yeah, that Porsche can definitely corner a lot better than those Honda cars in front of him. As we got a 3-car battle for the lead, as we'll watch and see how Holden is going to watch to get around him. He's starting to see where they're weak at, and it's definitely right through there. And he goes to the outside of Wingfield, and that's for second.
And see, that looks like a really good spot on the course to gain ground. I don't know if that's the best spot on this course to pass, though, because that's a really narrow portion of the race.
Very narrow, and look at that. He goes from third to almost first, but unfortunately he's going to be stuck out wide. And now we'll see if he can get around the 67 Assyrian. Assyrian knows she's in trouble, puts the hammer down, and you can see the smoke coming off the tires going down the front stretch.
Slower traffic is going to play a factor here in just a second as they're coming up on the back of the field, and Clark in the 25 DW. You can see it. Holden uses this stretch right here to close, and he accelerates just way better than anybody else coming off of that turn. However, that's not, again, not an optimal place to try to pass See if he can make the move going into this first left-hand corner here, and that's where it is. He comes off of that corner, has enough drive to get side by side, but gets pinched at the sharp left-hander there.
Except for that time, really good corner that time. He's able to use that momentum that he's been using the last 2 to 3 laps to get around him, and your new leader with 10 laps to go, Sawyer Holden.
Nice move by Sawyer, finding the right spot. That acceleration off turn, really pushing him into the top position. Here's Tubbs, gonna find her way up into the top 3, but up at the back of Wingfield, who is still trying to find his way by Surian.
Wingfield is just as fast as Syrian, but I don't know if fast enough to get around. It's going to take maybe a mistake by Syrian to have Wingfield get by, but he's watching. He's been behind her for the last 28, or I would say 22 laps, and he's now starting to use the bumper, maybe getting a little impatient. He's running out of time. He knows that Wingfield's behind him, and he's got to do something to keep that trophy spot.
You know, I wonder if he was trying to take a page out of Holden's book by the angle that he came off down low there, see if he could get enough acceleration and pass to go, but unfortunately, he'll lose ground in the process. As Surian gets away, Wingfield sends her in a little bit deeper. Made that ground back up, but still cannot make the pass.
Yeah, it's definitely, he's in a difficult position. He's trying to gain a spot in front of him and also trying to keep the spot he has. So he is in defense mode while also trying to attack, as Lexus Tubbs having a little bit of an issue coming off at turn number 2. As, yeah, right there, he could almost make the pass if Syrian might make a mistake going in through that first Uke tire right there.
And at the same time, Tubbs, like you said, just hunting around in the back bumper of Wingfield, making things difficult now through the corner. And that's kind of like what Holden did. He's trying to swing off down low right there. This time, Wingfield checks up again. We saw him exit the corner a half groove lower and kind of try to make that run, but couldn't get there in the end. And there is Tubbs letting Wingfield know that she is present. She'll make a move to the inside coming here into this first corner.
A little bit of contact, yep, exactly, showing that she is present, and that is the battle for third, as she will have the advantage now going through. Oh, a little bit of contact again, and that will be third place position now for the 65 of Tubbs.
Patiently aggressive move by Alexis Tubbs to make her way up into the third position. She's got an eyeball for second, as the red, white, and blue undercarriage there of Syrian. I just noticed that it had all 3 colors coming through. Kind of a cool look, and there you go on the left-hand side. You can see that red, white, and blue glowing on the ground. They're all in Sawyer Holden's wake, because he's straight up gone in this.
Oh, he is gone. He has about a 20-car length lead over the 67 Assyrian, and it was the very patriotic car.
Yeah.
As a great battle starting to shape up for that second place position, as we got the 23 of Tubbs and Syrian right then and there. White flag, 1 to go. Take it away, Caleb.
You had to mention that Holden and the family history of success here at Evergreen Speedway. Uncle Jeff, a road course race champion as well with TA2 Regional Series. So a lot of experience, and especially trying to go left and right. As coming through, here he comes, Sawyer Holden. Dominant and finally getting to the top spot. I believe that is win number 1 for Sawyer. Congratulations to him as he does it here at Road X. Surian 2, Tubbs 3. Let's talk to him down in the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium.
Alexis tried out a new course tonight. Just walk us through. How much fun was that?
Not fun.
No, I'm trying to do things new. How different is that from the course you guys normally run?
It's crazy. We never take right-handers, so going right was definitely a little weird.
And who do you want to thank for helping you get out here?
DL Enterprises, my mom, my dad, my grandma, and my grandpa.
Let's give it a third place tonight. All right, I just have to ask a similar question. New course, how was that for a first time out?
Definitely a favorite.
Definitely a favorite. So then potentially Hornets and maybe next after youth Hornets to run the full-size boot course?
Definitely, yes.
And who do you want to thank for helping you get out here?
I'd like to thank Chip Happens, Hired Standard Construction. Oh my gosh, I just had a brain fart. The shop, Alan, James, Peak for the annoying long nights, Tim, Helen, and the Helen family, my dad, my mom, just everyone that came out, my grandma, my grandpa, just everyone.
Let's give it up. Second place tonight. Sawyer, big win tonight. How fun is it feel on the top step of the podium?
Oh, it's so good.
And first off, I think we have to, for the crowd, just let us know, how old are you?
I'm 14 years old.
14 years old, piloting that car around the course. You had to come back through a little bit of the field, drove through everyone, made the passes. What was going through your head when you were going car to car, turning left, turning right?
I have no clue. I just was like, don't get black flagged and don't spin out.
And who do you want to thank for helping you get out here?
I like to thank my Nana and Papa who built the car, my mom and dad, Holden Development Group, and everyone else who came out.
Let's give it up tonight. Race winner, Sawyer Holden.
We're back with more Home Track Heroes here on Seattle 11. Thanks for spending your Sunday evening with us. He's Chad Fitzpatrick. I am Caleb Hart. And we move on. Our circle trackers today are the Vintage Modifieds coming out and rolling around the 3/8. Take a look at your lineup with Randy Adams on the pole. Randy's in the 65, sponsored by Central Storage, Wenatchee. And it is the Root Beer Racing, number 25, RT Griner, supposed to go outside row number 1.
The 57 of Shane Strimple, sponsored by Aaron's Olympic 4x4 and Switch Electric, and the 8 of Jason Quatso.
Row number 3 is supposed to be the 23 of Cale Cheth, and his outside, the 10 of Brian Cottrell.
The 82 of Vince Conwell, sponsored by Northwest Concrete, and the 22 of Steve Wood, sponsored by First Day Electric.
And then the 30 of Kyton Jones, sponsored by Benchmark Barrels. 9 cars going around. Now, it looks like from the lineup they gave us to the lineup that's starting this,
Somebody moved around. We did some
somebody
moving.
did it. Well, it looks like RT's all the way to the back, as that's Shane Strimple on the outside of row number 1. It is still Randy Adams on the inside, though, and they'll go side by side out of the corner and down the back straightaway for your lead. Our program today brought to you by Gene Johnson, plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical.
As we got one lap in, it looks like it's the 57 of Shane Strimple, your leader. 65 Randy Adams hanging on to second. Here comes Cale Cheth. Here comes Vince Conwell on the outside, using that second groove, going where they're not, and he is on fire on the outside, passing 2 cars, going into 3.
Vince has always been fast, but that's next level speed coming through. There's Conwell up to second. He is hunting Strimple in the early goings. 30 laps total. We're only 2 laps in, and Conwell's put himself in a really good position early here.
Yeah, passing about 3 to 4 cars in 1 lap, as here comes the 10 of Cottrell and the 8 of Jason Quatso, as well. The 65 Randy Adams hanging on for dear life. Something going south on him. He's losing quite a bit of spots, as now the 82 of Vince Conwell slowly starting to get close to the 57 of Strimple.
Nice job there as Conwell trying to roll him in. There's Cottrell. I'm used to seeing Cottrell in yellow race cars, so blue race cars doesn't make as much sense to me, but Brian working his way forward, and looks like he is in 5th as they cross the line that time, as Quatso and Woods battling side by side for a spot.
Yeah, Steve Wood's a many-time winner out here in the Vintage Modifieds and in the Street Stock division. Brian Cottrell actually used to normally run blue cars. It's just been last few years he's been in yellow. But out front, looky, here comes Vince Conwell. Looking to the outside. That's where he's been living all night so far.
He is taking a peek to the outside. That's allowed Cheth and Jones to reel in on him. There goes Cale Cheth, closing on Conwell, but Conwell has a run on Strimple. Continues to kind of loop around the outside. Now he's going to be challenged for second to the inside by Cheth.
Yeah, he's definitely opening the door, thinking that he had a chance to get around Strimple on the outside, and unfortunately that backed down. We got issues. We got, looks like the 65 of Adams going around.
Adams does spin out. We've got a couple of looks at it from our Seattle 11 Home Track Heroes camera crew. Let's take a peek at it coming off the corner. He was fighting to keep that thing straight the whole time.
Yeah, lost it on his own, but you know what? He didn't hit any tires, so that's all that matters. If he did that, that definitely would have made it a lot worse for him.
Yeah, other than a little tread spent, car still in one piece. He'll restart at the back of the field. There's still a lot of laps left to go here in the Vintage Mod A main event. In car we go. The Brandy Hood Promotions in-car camera is on Steve Woods for this 2x2 restart, with Strimple on the inside and Cheth on the outside as we go back to green.
Green flag and a great restart by both of them, dead even at the line. Shane Strimple will resume to be your leader. Here comes 82 of Conwell. He actually got past that last time, so he will have a little bit of advantage now. He's on the inside of Cheth as they go side by side, 2x2 as they go into turn number 3. A little bit of sparks flying through 3 and 4. Strimple will still be your leader, but give second place back to Vince Conwell.
Yeah, swap the spots or swap the lanes for just a second, and that's actually going to force Cheth up that groove, and now Kyton Jones to the inside looking to take over third. So as we watch them go side by side, battling for third and for fifth, as there's Woods still trying to loop his way around the outside. We should mention our segment brought to you by Nelson Motorsports in Snohomish, offering a full-service sales and repair shop.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you. We got trouble up front.
That was your race leader, unfortunately. So strimple around, and let's get a look at it from a couple of different angles to how it happened.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, into the corner, and he had been just a hair high. Let's see it from one of the drivers chasing him. So here's the look. Right front, right into that left rear tire.
From Vince Conwell's standpoint, it looked like that he thought that the hole was going to open, and he saw that Uke tire right there, and I think that, unfortunately, going to choose to hit the car before hitting that Uke tire.
Yeah, and that happened really fast. Like, in the amount of time in which there was definitely a door open for a second down there, but I mean, the race cars, and they're traveling at high rates of speed, especially coming through that turn. The door closed really quick, and there wasn't a whole ton of reaction time to get it fixed up.
Unfortunately for both of them, they will go to the back. It's a racing deal, but now your new leader will be the 30 of Kyton Jones and the 23 of Cale Cheth, and we are underway once again.
Back to action we go. For third, it is Cottrell and Woods kicking up the sparks. We'll find out who your leader is going to be here after the restart. Then we'll get back to thanking Nelson Motorsports for sponsoring the segment. It sure looks like it's going to be Jones. Surging ahead, the 30 is, oh no, Woods is off the pace.
Left front flat going down on the 22 of Steve Woods. Tough break for him. Watching might have been a little bit, he was sparking up quite a bit before the green went out, and now, it looked like maybe a slow leak, and then it definitely went when he went into turn one.
Yeah, watch it, because he never really comes up to massive speed. After this, he's up on the top, he's kind of picking up the accelerator. Right there, he is losing a lot of ground and losing a lot of speed. So you can see it, left front goes down. Let's see if they get that swapped out. And for Steve, back to the back of the pack, where he's at least used to running his way back up and forward, as normally one of our better time trialers in the division starts deep in the field. So we're just a handful of laps into this, but still a long ways to go. Vintage Modified Main, it's Jones and Cheth for the race lead once again, coming off the corner with 21 left.
As we go green, and that was a good start for Cale Cheth on the outside. A little bit of advantage as they go through 1 and 2. Off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway, they are side by side once again. 2 by 2 as they go into turn number 3. Sparks flying once again through 3 and 4. Your guess is as good as mine, Caleb. Who's going to be the leader at the line?
Well, we will let the miracle of technology tell us. As the transponder says, Kyton Jones has it for now. Cheth scrambling to try to get it back. Cottrell's in third. Nelson Motorsports, a full-service sales and repair shop. Great prices on ATVs, quads, carts, and bikes. Make Nelson Motorsports your one-stop center for motorized vehicles for fun. With that being said, we need to take the time out. You're watching the Vintage Modifieds, and we've got more of their A-Main event coming up next here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. We are back here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11, and you are knee-deep in the Vintage Modified A-Main event, where Kyton Jones and Cale Cheth out in front of this field and nose to tail going into turn number 1. I'm Caleb Hart. He is Chad Fitzpatrick. The battle continues. Vince Conwell sneaking his way back up to third, getting some front bumper action from Brian Cottrell. Our program brought to you by Gene Johnson, plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical. In car with Cheth in the bid for the lead.
Out front, Cheth looking to the inside for the lead under Jones as they're coming off at turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Side by side once again. Jones with the disadvantage on the outside. Cheth with the advantage on the inside. Off at turn number 4, your new race leader once again, Cale Cheth.
And we're getting reports that maybe one of the engines here in your top 2 is sounding a little flat out there. We know Jones had some problems earlier in heat race action, so right now that's the suspicion, but at least remember that as we go forward as Cheth looking to expand that lead coming off the 4th turn.
Yeah, slowly but surely starting to gain it to about a car length or so, but Jones starting to get in to turn number 1 pretty well. Goes right back to the back bumper of Cheth, but Cheth will do really good coming off at turn number 2.
Yeah, if one of them's power down, it's kind of hard to figure out at this point in time. So we will watch Jones chase Cheth. Here's the question is, who would you bet on? Will it Angel Winds Casino Resort? They now have sports betting. Think you can pick a winner? Prove it at Angel Winds Casino Resort, the only home for sports betting north of Seattle. Exit 210 off I-5 in Arlington. I like the leader at this point in time, but then again, I usually bet on the leader.
Yeah, that'd be me too. So I'm going to bet on Chet at this point. Sorry, Kyton Jones.
No, take nothing away from Kyton. He's a feature winner here at Evergreen Speedway.
Many times.
Yep, looking really good right now. Cale looking to take it away from him here on the night. The final vintage modified appearance of the year, I believe.
At Evergreen Speedway, they
Yes.
have one more, I believe, at Tri-City Raceway for the Fall Classic, and I presume we'll see them over there in a couple weeks.
Multiple different divisions show up for that one, too. It's kind of an interesting melding of some of the vintage modified rules from around the state. It's a fabricated steel chassis. They run a grooved tire that keeps them all a little bit more even as far as the rubber goes, and gets them multiple nights in the tire as well, so they're not sitting there throwing money away at the rubber.
Yes.
And modern cars with old bodies, basically.
Yep. When you look at the 23 of Cale Chet's car, you go up and that's an actual Chevy body on it. It's really cool looking. But with 2 laps to go, I'm thinking this might be, I don't want to jinx him. If he gets across the start-finish line first the next lap or two, this might be his first win here at Evergreen Speedway in the Vintage Modifieds.
I remember him in the top 3 a bunch of times. My memory fading in my old age, but this is win number 1. Every win's worth celebrating. It'll be a great one to celebrate for him. Down the back straightaway he goes, opening her up, and here at the end, the night belongs to Cale Chet in the Vintage Modifieds. Off the 4th corner, he will take the checkered flag over Kyton Jones, and a nice rally back up the field for Vince Conwell here in the Vintage Modifieds. Let's go down to the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort Podium and hear from your winner.
Had come from the back there after that incident between you and the 57. What's it like here at Evergreen Speedway trying to balance the high line and that good exit and entry versus the low line and that consistent speed?
Yeah, I feel really bad about that. I didn't mean to do that to him. He's got radios, so I was waiting to see if his spotter was telling him I was there, and that didn't happen. I just came up into him, so I apologize for that. But my whole career, I've loved to run the outside, and so I always go out whether it costs me or not.
And who would you like to thank for your performance tonight?
Northwest Concrete Cutting and Mountain Edge and my crew chief, Jim Shaw.
Driver the number 82, 3rd place tonight, that's Vince Conwell. Tight and interesting battle there between you and the number 23. What more do you think you needed to best him tonight?
I needed my plug wire not to fall off with about 10 to go. I dropped down to 7 cylinders and I had no straightaway speed.
That's certainly unfortunate, but I know there's a crew of people helping you get out here and heading into the final race. Who is that?
Well, I don't know how many of you were here in the heat race, but I stuffed it in the wall right there and ripped the right front off. And I got a bunch of people to thank. Rick Villiard, Vince, who finished 3rd. I got parts of his car on mine. Jason Quadso, my dad, just everybody who thrashed. And it's not near what it should be. And I'm pretty happy with a 2nd and a good points day.
Racing's a family, and that certainly paid off for you. 2nd place tonight, Kyton Jones, driver of the 30. Watched you tee up that move there for a number of laps, setting up, waiting for that opportunity. It finally came. You shot it straight to the inside. Walk us through those moments.
I knew I could get it, but I didn't want to hit him too hard, so I waited, and I finally saw the door open, and I took it. So
Certainly a great move, and that's what won you the race. Who's back there in the pits and in the shop helping you get out here?
my grandpa, John Woods, my uncle Steve, they do all the setup and working on the car. All my family and friends that come out, and then 7K Construction and Remodel, Gino Campanelli Crane, First Day Electric, Classic Interiors, Underrated Company. I'm probably forgetting a couple, but Bud's Machine.
Your race winner tonight in the Vintage Moz, driver the number 23, that's Cale Chet.
Well, congratulations to Cale picking up the win there. Happy camper. Let's move on. We've got Hornets on the road course coming up. Oh, wait. 3 different road courses coming up. Here's road course number 1 for the PRE CBD Hornets. Dan Miller, the 00 out of Everett Exterior Wall Systems. In the front row next to him, 151 of Daniel Rowland.
The 717 to Diesel Snyder out of Clam, sponsored by Valley Asphalt. And the 45 Trinity Repin out of Snohomish, sponsored by Snow Palmy Casino.
Row 3 is the 029 of Trent Gillespie from Granite Falls, the Burger Madness car. Next to him, the 67 of Zach Dixon.
The 15 of Matt Snyder out of Snohomish, sponsored by Handy in the Valley. And the 73 Derek Myers out of Arlington, sponsored by LRA Landscaping.
Fifth row is the 118 of Lucas Walker and the 17S of Gino Solomon from North Bend, sponsored by Valley Asphalt.
The 86 of Dave Dixon out of Arlington, sponsored by Butch, Steve, and Zach. And the 11, Jeff Holden out of Woodville.
Row behind them, the 59 of Tegan Bjornson from Arlington, Misfit Motorsports on the car, and the 39Z of Andrew Zachary.
The 03 of Lucas Hasselfluck out of Lake Stevens, sponsored by Cornerstone Homes. And the 1, the Zach Bristol out of Snohomish, sponsored by Hibbs Automotive.
Row behind them, all girls. Donna Gillespie, the 024 out of Salem, Oregon, and the 91, my high school classmate Alicia Dixon, originally from East Wenatchee, Washington.
The number 8 of Jacob Funk and the 4R of Gabriel Guevara out of Snohomish, sponsored by Weiss Investment Group.
11th row, Christian Miller in the 77, sponsored by Turbo Espresso. He's from Everett. And the 101 of Brian McNamara from Snohomish, the True Line Wheel and Frame machine.
The 5 of Carly Gosler out of Arlington, sponsored by her dad. The 02 of Michael Turner out of Salem, Oregon.
Final 3, Luke Davis, the 13, the 195 of Devin Jenkins, the 16 of Peyton Hopp from Monroe, sponsored by Bardol. We're off and running. The green flag is out on a 27-car PRCBD Hornet field. Yeehaw.
And probably one of the biggest road courses you'll ever run. One of the fastest road courses as well. So much to watch for. 27 cars going for spots that probably only might fit 1 or 2 car lengths, as we got a battle for the lead already. Diesel Snyder will grab the lead from the 00 Dan Miller, and here comes the 025, or that is the 029, excuse me, of Trent Gillespie.
It looks a lot like a 5, I'll give you that much.
Yeah.
It's a little baby number. We need to make that a little bit of a bigger number, but that's all right. So here's what's unique about our Hornets tonight. First part, there are no season championship points on the line for Evergreen Speedway points. We've already decided that. Zach Bristol is our champion. Number 2, they're going to run on 3 different courses. This first course that you're seeing now is going to go 20 laps. Then we're going to give them a little timeout, and then they're going to go 20 laps on another course, and then they're going to finish with a 15-lapper on a third course.
And we're going to add a little bit more to this. Most of them have never been on any of these tracks until now.
They are very unique in their structure in and of themselves. Now, I remember this course got run at Road X last year. I remember that run through that access road was all kinds of fun for some drivers trying to figure out how much speed that they could keep on through it. And this turn right there was a bugaboo for a lot of them as well.
Yep, and I could definitely tell the drivers who drove it last year have definitely learned this year what to do and what not to do, as looks like the 00 Dan Miller sitting great third.
Well, he's got third. Trent Gillespie, the 029's got second. Your leader is Diesel Snyder. We will come back with more from the first of 3 road courses for the PRCBD Hornets here on Home Track Heroes. We are back with a lot of Hornet racing to come here in this segment. The segment brought to you by Gene Johnson Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. I'm Caleb Hart. He is Chad Fitzpatrick, and well, we've got some bumping, some banging, some position changing up near the front of the field.
We just saw a lead change right there. The 029 of Trent Gillespie just got around. Diesel Snyder was able to use that lap traffic to his advantage, as Diesel Snyder had to get out of the way for the 151 of Daniel Rowland, and Gillespie was able to take advantage, and now they'll get around the 39 of Andrew Zachary as well. Lap traffic, they don't do blue flags in this division, so they don't know if they're getting lapped a lot of the time.
That's right. Figure out your way past the slower car or else is kind of the way about it. So next time they cross over the transponder loop, you will see that position change, as here's third, and well, digging up on the back of the 00 of Dan Miller. Matt Snyder has got a good run on him and is looking for position as they are knocking around on the back of the 151 of Daniel Rowland.
As the 00 of Dan Miller hanging on for dear life, Matt Snyder seems to be possibly the faster car. We'll actually see who has the better motor when they get onto the 5/8 mile oval here. They are hauling tail here. They're probably going easily 80 to almost 90 miles an hour into that corner.
Dude, we're getting funky here. Quad boxing through, as looking on the Diesel Snyder screen, whoever that was just literally bounced his way up in front of Diesel. Kind of an interesting move. Up in the upper left-hand corner, we continue to follow the battle between Miller and Snyder. Trinity Reppin down to the left, and Tegan Bjornson down and to the right. Here in this Hornet, first of, again, 3 road courses that we have out there. So watching through, Miller got himself an important car length or so of room to breathe for a second. I think that's the 022 of Turner that just jumped in front of the 717 of Snyder. So we'll watch Turner make his way up and through.
Between all 4 boxes, they're definitely trading paint between all the cars right now. As we're watching Trinity Rep and had a little bit of contact. I believe that was with Zach Bristol, and watching a little bit of contact in front of her as well, as this is definitely something that most Hornet drivers don't have to realize, but since this is a long race, they better be conserving their tires as well. 60 laps is a lot, especially for a racetrack where you're constantly turning.
Yeah, and again, this is not something that you would normally think of at all, because you're out there for a 30-lap feature with maybe half the corners.
Oh, exactly. Probably half the corners, a lot more straightaway. And the other thing is, the 3/8 or the 5/8 that they're on, that's 63-year-old pavement.
Yep.
And then you go on to almost brand new pavement, and then back to the 3/8, which is 7-year-old pavement. The figure 8 track is 21-year-old pavement, so there's all sorts of different
with
surfaces.
Very sharp turns that you're taking at speed. This one right here in particular, you can hear some tire squeal going on while you're out there, as Miller and Snyder still duking it out. That is for third, the 00, and the 15 is third place up for grabs. We've only got 5 more laps, though, here in this race segment, and Carly Gosler facing the wrong way. Caution flag comes out.
Oh, yeah, definitely sitting in a very scary spot. That's where most of the drivers were actually swinging out wide, so definitely good job for going yellow. We'll watch and see what happens here. And unfortunately, it looks like, yeah, just all 3. We have a sandwich going on right now.
Oh, and it ended up a sandwich.
Yeah.
We were seeing the tail end of it, as that was Gino Solomon and Trinity Reppin. We had the in-car from Reppin, and I'm turning, I can't turn. I can't, oh, there's 2 cars not letting me turn. And we'll take a break.
Then they see a wall, and then they all realize we better push the brake instead.
Right. Well, hey, yeah, receiver radios are in. I'm sure that they're saying, all right, guys, chill. We'll unpeel you. We'll let you get back out there. So they unpeel them. We know Gillespie is your leader in the black with green 029, and got some lap cars mixed in amongst the front of the pack. I have to imagine that there is a scramble for those slower cars to try to stay on the lead lap segment to segment, right?
Oh, yes, yeah. I believe in this race. I believe in Hornets in general, you don't do the lucky dog. So when you go a lap down, the only way you're going to do it is go all the way around, all the way up front past the leader, and they'll regain a spot, which is it's very hard to do, but it can be done. But back out front now, the 717 of Diesel Snyder will regain the lead with only 3 laps to go this time by in this segment. Here comes Zach Bristol now, coming from all the way from almost 20th to 3rd.
And we had talked about there are no Evergreen Speedway points on the line. However, there are NASCAR National Division 5 points on the line, which coming into this race, Bristol was running second as we're getting another caution flag. The 39 of Zachary, we understand.
You don't want to be in there.
All right, so that wasn't Turner earlier, I think, that ended up skipping up and by. I believe it was the lap car of Zachary, and yeah.
And that was one hard hit that he took as well. Let's see what happens here. We'll watch through the 024 Donna Gillespie, and it looks like, I think that was a right front flat.
Okay, coming through. Let's watch from Derek Meyer's perspective. Watch the red car out in front. I don't think that was so much of a flat as that was a come down the racetrack and get tapped at the wrong point.
That definitely could have been too.
There was a couple of different angles there where you can certainly interpret however you wanted to go, but rarely do you see a car come from the far outside all the way almost to the far inside without some kind of repercussion.
And either way, he's probably sore tomorrow morning, and that car is going on the frame rack.
Indeed it is. So back to green with 6 to go, in fact, before we change segments, and nice restart. Diesel Snyder banging with Gillespie, gets through, and now it's Snyder back into the lead here.
Yeah, Snyder doing really good on those restarts. As we'll watch and see if the 029 will be able to hang in with the 717 to Snyder and pass for his lead that he once had. Dan Miller hanging tough in 3rd. Here comes Zach Bristol once again in 4th, and yeah, he's definitely the hard charger, Zach Bristol, as we got more issues.
Oh, yeah, well, long run here, right? Drivers do get a little fatigued over the course of a road course. It's a lot of turning back and forth, so they're figuring it out as they go. We're 5 laps at least for a break for them for a second to reset the course. Snyder and Gillespie wants that lead back here at the segment. Meanwhile, Miller being threatened for 3rd. Bristol's got a big run on him. Can he outbrake him coming into this left-hander? Indeed he can.
He most definitely does, and he will grab possibly, well, Dan Miller hanging tough on the outside, and he'll actually regain third. We'll watch and see if Zach Bristol will throw it in to turn number 3, I would say, and he will, but Dan Miller hanging tough. He will not give up that final podium spot, but now Zach Bristol will completely take it away from Dan Miller.
So Bristol's got the spot. He is our Evergreen Speedway Hornet champion for the 2nd straight year. Coming into tonight, NASCAR national points on the line for Bristol. Understand he was in 2nd coming into the evening, but a big showing for him here. Could win him the National Division 5 title.
Most definitely. He was down, I believe, 30 points, somewhere in that area, behind 2 points. And with the amount of cars that we have, this is actually working out to his advantage. With 27 cars, and I don't know what the competitor that he was going against had, but with the more cars for national points, the better for you.
Sir, and with Bristol passing nearly every one of them, this is situating pretty well for him. We'll keep that up. NASCAR Division 5 is kind of your National Hornet class, right?
All the tracks are different.
Okay.
I believe it's just 5 divisions go through NASCAR points. For Evergreen Speedway, it's Division 1 are the Pro Late models. Division 2 are the street stocks. Division 3, the mini stocks. Division 4, the super stock figure eights. And then Division 5 is the Hornet division. So, but all the tracks are different.
Sure, it depends on what you got running, your specific rule set, etc. As Gillespie losing a rear bumper cover here and the early goings of it with 3 laps to go. That thing is flapping in the wind. Hopefully he gets a chance to knock that thing off at some point in time where it's not in a racing groove, but he is all over the back of Diesel Snyder trying to take this lead before the segment runs out.
Yeah, Gillespie right there, almost looking to the inside, but he was going to realize very soon he's probably going to be put into a tire right there. So yeah, Diesel Snyder hanging tough for that lead and just watching that bumper fly all over the racetrack. And here comes Zach Bristol, slowly working his way through. That's how he's been all year. He'll start towards the tail end of the field, just slowly working his way, and you look up and he's in the lead.
Meanwhile, that's the 15 of Matt Snyder. Trinity Reppin should be a lapped car in this scenario, I believe, but he's up there and working through. As flashback to your lead 2, in 1 lap, they will change the course. So it's 1 more lap to finish this particular segment of racing off, and then course change for 20 more. As, it is a Miller family reunion now sitting in position. There is Dan in the 00 and his kid, the very fast number 77 of Christian Miller right behind him.
Yeah, Miller versus Miller for that 4th and 5th spot. And here comes the 16 of Peyton Hopp as well. He's starting to gain in through them as back up front once again. We sound like a broken record. It is Snyder and Gillespie for the lead.
It's been a fantastic battle to follow as they will come through the turn, around, and segment is complete. So segment complete, segment 1, 2, and 3 still stacked up and ready to go here for the PR CBD Hornets. Well, we have completed the first 20. We have got a whole bunch more coming up the next 20-lap segment. Going to go to a track that's going to be a lot more technical, I guess, if you want to take a look at it. Because they are going to do a lot of bobbing and weaving. It's the Snake Charmer.
The Snake Charmer, this track, I will say, is more corner than anything. You will not be going that fast. I bet you'll be maybe going 60 going in at the fastest part of the racetrack. As we got the 029 to Trent Gillespie regains his lead once again, and they're going to go through the second part of the Snake Road course.
So if you think about it, there's your first little S, right? There's your first S, and now they're going to come around and make a more different S.
Yeah.
So S1 and S2, it's the Snake Charmer. I like it. That kind of works,
I like it too.
So your leader is Gillespie. He got that back from Diesel Snyder. Zach Bristol sitting up in the 3rd spot. Gillespie, again, of note, still has that front bumper, rear bumper cover dragging and hanging out there. That's not going to cause him any significant amount of drag or handling issues. It's just annoying and somebody needs to run it over.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe Diesel's trying to do that to get rid of it. Maybe he's tired of looking at it.
I'm tired of looking at it. I don't have to follow the things. So we have in-car from Bristol, who's 3rd, down to the left. Snyder, who's 2nd, up into the right. Dan Miller was hanging right outside the top 3. So, boy, Dan's got a lot going on in his cockpit. Holy cow.
He does.
There's a lot of flags and stuff there.
I'm kind of almost getting stressed looking at it.
Just a little bit. Dan, clean your cockpit up, man. That's a lot going on between, I don't know, the flags and charms, and I don't know what that thing is flying off into the right. Used pit passes, something.
I do like the blue on the roll cage though. That's pretty cool.
Is that my PRI tag?
It might be.
So going through, Gillespie doing a really good job. He's taken to this quite well, and you would imagine your shorter wheelbase, tighter turn radius cars would do pretty well within this segment. Those longer cars that might have some more stability and speed, but don't get into the sharp turns left might be hurting in this run.
Yeah, most definitely. We'll definitely see that in this track. Will also take a lot of the, we got contact up front between the 029 of Gillespie and the 717 of Snyder, as this battle for the lead is really starting to heat up now, as the 717 is just right on the rear bumper cover, literally, of the 029 of Gillespie.
Neither of these drivers are afraid to use bumpers, doors, be a little bit physical. Not dirty, but neither one of these guys are afraid to lay a front bumper to you when appropriate.
Exactly. It's really hard to not lay a bumper. Okay, that was a little. That was a pretty hard hit there.
It's not an exact science, right? Sometimes the guy breaks a little harder than you think.
Well, and that's what the point I was getting at. When you're at tight quarters like this, kind of slower speeds than what you're not normally used to, and you're going to brake harder, that type of contact can happen right there. And I don't think there's any hard feelings. They're trying to go for the same spot at this point. There's 35 laps to go in this whole main event. So time is not running out yet, but you don't want your leader to go away from you as well.
So keep brakes in the back of your head here for a second, as we're going to watch Snyder again chase Gillespie in and through the Snake Charmer course. The more different S starts right now, and Snyder right up at the back of Gillespie. We've got to thank Tire Pros first. These guys are working their tires awfully hard. Tire Pros, the official tire dealer of Evergreen Speedway. They are your one-stop tire retailer, where honesty is the best policy, and they have a hassle-free guarantee. Tire Pros has all the national brands and offers a nationwide warranty on your tires. Go to tirepros.com. So they've been out there now for 26 laps with more cornering and more braking than usual, and Snyder and Gillespie together, and that's both going to cost them. So Gillespie's going to drop one spot, and Snyder drops a bunch.
Something going south on the 717 of Snyder. He stopped, completely stopped, so something broke. Contact once again. That is the 151 of Daniel Rowland. Getting some contact from Gillespie. And now we got the 00 of Dan Miller moving up to third. As I say that, here comes the 16 of Peyton Hopp. He will move to that final podium spot.
That's a former track champion also getting involved up in the front of this field. And what I was going to talk about coming in there as we watch Hopp trying to hold off Miller is your brake is not consistent throughout the course of a race like this, especially with how many turns we've got going. I'll let you touch on that in a second. We're going to get a quick look at a replay because Snyder ended up not moving. We'll take some angles and see how this came to be.
That looks like, unfortunately, you're running out of space, and lap cars definitely played a huge factor in that. And it was definitely unfortunate for the 717 Diesel Snyder, as that was definitely could have been his race that he could have won.
So let's watch it. He sneaks to the inside here on Gillespie, comes in and left front corner of Gillespie into the door, or the passenger door. Here's Snyder's point of view, in and through. He's accelerating, and then all of a sudden, car no roll anymore. So problem on the Snyder car, caution flag out, and a chance for the drivers to catch their breath, reset. We'll set him single file as we got a handful of laps done here on the Snake Charmer, our second of third courses. Double box with your new leader, Zach Bristol. Matt Snyder is sitting a couple of rows behind that front group as we go back to green.
Noticeably absent from the front of the pack is the 029 of Trent Gillespie. He was sent to the back for the contact with the 717 Diesel Snyder, so he will have a whole bunch of work to be done as he is sitting about 24th position. So he's going to have a lot of cars to pass, but up front, your track champion, the one car of Zach Bristol.
And perspective, NASCAR national champ in Division 5, if this holds true. So he's got enough points by our extraordinarily rudimentary calculations to have that championship if he take this win. So
yeah, if he can hold it right now, I believe right now he is the points leader for the national division for Division 5. So hopefully he can hold that. and take home the win as well. That'd be perfect to cap off his year here at Evergreen Speedway.
So we'll see it, and we go through. We were chatting brakes, or trying to, a couple of times before guys decided
get
that
there.
wrecking was more important. But you look at it, how many times these drivers aren't up to full speed, have to jam on a brake, aren't up to full speed, have to jam on a brake over and over again. Their brakes may fade during the course of this race. It happens in normal circle track racing that as the brakes get hotter and hotter and hotter, they don't work as well. Here in the little four-cylinder cars with lots of tight turns and probably a lot of standing on that middle pedal, I imagine it's got to be really bad for something like this.
I'm going to presume by now those brakes are probably almost going to the floor. The other thing that doesn't help with the front-wheel drive cars, when you slam on it, you're putting a lot of warmth into those front tires as well. So you got hot front tires, hot brakes. Those tires are screaming at you by the end of the race. So yeah, that's another factor you're going to have to worry about. And that also could have played factor with the contact between Diesel Snyder and Trent Gillespie. When you go into the corner and the brakes go into the floor, that definitely could happen.
Oh goodness, I can't stop, whereas before you had a chance to at least whoa the car up a little bit. Now, in some instances, that's gradual, right? Like you can feel, I have less pedal,
Yep.
lap after lap. And sometimes they just go from straight working to not, right?
Oh yeah, and probably on road courses like this, it's probably more gradual, especially on something like this because you're on the brake more, so you get to feel it more. But on like the traditional regular road course that we run on a typical Saturday night, if we were doing 60 laps on this, they might go from having pedal to not just because we're not on the brake that much.
Now, is there any chance where you're watching a guy like Bristol and a guy like Hop right here that they can compensate for brakes going away by lifting earlier, turning the car at a different radius, etc.?
The one thing that, at least what I used to use, is when you go into the corner and you can downshift,
Yep.
you're going to whoa up that motor and you're going to use more momentum and let that motor slow you down and not use the brakes.
And most of your drivers out here are on manual transmission cars. That's not something that we always get a chance to see within our cockpit shots or not, but most of them are, clutch, manual transmission, etc. You don't tend to run a lot of automatic transmission in auto racing.
Yeah, I bet in the Hornet division out here tonight, there's probably all the cars probably have manual transmissions.
Just because of this is the nature of the division. They always run on a road course. You're always anticipating some kind of shifting necessary.
And you get more power. You get more power out of a manual transmission too. You can get the same horsepower with automatic, but it's going to obviously shift for you, and you don't want it to shift early for you. On a road course, you shift it until it starts banging, then you go.
Yeah, right. Run it up to the rev limiter and just jam it into gear sometimes.
Exactly. That's how you got to do it. So that's why most people don't run automatic transmissions, because the automatic won't let you do that.
So watching Zach Bristol and Peyton Hop having a really good race out in front. Hop has been right there for a handful of laps. Just hasn't had the opportunity to pull side by side or stick a nose in anywhere. Now coming up on slower traffic in the form of, who is that?
That is
for us?
Alicia Dixon.
Aha! Hi, Alicia. She signed my yearbook. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, nice.
Down the back straightaway. That was a highlight of my year. As we come through, she's going to go a lap down to Bristol and Hop. And, with the slower traffic coming up, I thought that might be an opportunity for Peyton to stick a nose in, but he's hanging pretty patient right now.
He is definitely patient, and that's his nature as well. I've seen him race, many, many years. He's a very patient driver, kind of watches, see where they're weak in the areas, and he's going to try to pounce where they're weak. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing, what Peyton Hop is doing. And the other thing is, they know there's only 5 laps to go in this segment, so they know there's another caution. So he could maybe pounce on that restart and maybe take the lead from there.
There is time remaining for Hop, and you've got 2 of the more sportsmanlike drivers within Evergreen Speedway as well going after it. And Bristol and Peyton, granted I haven't watched all of them, but those 2 are not take each other out type guys just to get a spot, especially with lots of laps left.
Correct, yeah. I've never seen any of those 2 ever do that, and if they ever did, it was definitely not on purpose.
Right. No, intent is hard to judge sometimes. Yeah. However, down the back straightaway, they're now coming into a group of 3 slower cars, including the 8. That is Captain Chaos, Jacob Funk. Strange things happen around that race car.
Oh, yes, they do.
Trinity Reppin is in there and more.
Looks like the 67 of Zachary Dixon.
Okay. Well, they've started to make through a couple of those passes. Down to 24 laps left, and we're going to get a caution flag here. So yellow flag out on the racetrack for the 118W and the 17S. That's Solomon and Lucas Walker. Let's take a look and see what happened. Here's Walker coming in and through, making the left-hand turn. He'll make the right-hand corner
Oh.
and out. Thump. Yeah, that was quite the ding. So Walker's going to roll to a stop. We'll have more of the PRCBD Hornet main event. Course number 3 is coming up soon here on Home Track Heroes. We are here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. Thanks for spending your Sunday night with us. He's Chad Fitzpatrick. I am Caleb Hart. We have had a fun Hornet main event so far. We've got 4 laps left to go in segment number 2 on the Snake Charmer course before we get ready for our 3rd and final one here at Road X. Tire Pros sponsors it. Finaudy is presenting it, so nice to have them on and on board. Back to flag action. Zach Bristol, Peyton Hopp, side by side down the back straightaway.
Here comes Payne Hopp on the outside, able to use that outside groove to his advantage, as he will have a little bit more advantage as he'll be on the inside as they go around this Uke tire, but then give Zach Bristol the advantage as they go now through the right-hand turn, or that'd be the left-hand turn, excuse me. And back up front is the leader of Zach Bristol.
Boy, but it was only very barely, and depending on where they are on the course, Hopp's got the advantage in one turn, Bristol's got the advantage in the other. Now that sharp left is kind of one of the big break spots, right?
Yep.
That's one of the separators as far as the corners go. Here's the other one coming up right, not there, but right here, but Bristol got ahead of him coming into it.
Bristol was able to outbrake him going into that corner and was able to regain the lead, but Hopp looked again to the outside, and while those two were battling for the lead, Dan Miller's now starting to gain on both of them as well.
Gotta thank Gene Johnson, Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, our show sponsor all year long here at Home Track Heroes, as we watch Bristol coming into 2 to go before they'll take a quick timeout, and then they'll transition into our 3rd course, which we'll tell you all about in just a little bit. Taking a look further back, Trent Gillespie starting to weave his way back forward.
He has definitely passed probably the most amount of cars now tonight. He started, I believe, it was somewhere in the, I think around 10th or 12th, and got up to the lead. And now he had to go back to about 24th, maybe 22nd, and now he's back up to 4th, cracking into the top 3. So definitely the man on the move is the 029 to Trent Gillespie.
So he started 5th, not as far back as we thought, but he still had to pass his way forward for 4 cars, which is easier said than done. I probably wouldn't have been able to do it, right? And then to climb back up as far as he has in the short time that he has, too. It only took, let's say, 13, 14 laps for him to get back up to where he is now. Pretty impressive from Gillespie, as there's the yellow flag ending this segment. So we are 40 down. They're currently showing 20 to go. We understand we might shorten segment number 3 here, according to the NASCAR officials, and that's due to time.
Yep.
So we might carve 5 laps or so off of this coming up. Road course 3, let's show you now. And yes, indeed, we did cut 5 from it, as it'll be Bristol and Gillespie somehow up near the front. Hopp is in the 2nd row with Miller, and oh boy, let's start with a big right-hand quick corner to get this thing up and going.
Yeah, this looks like almost the regular backwards road course with a couple little extra turns to watch and see what happens when they go through here. Zach Bristol flies into, I guess that'd be the backwards turn too, as then, okay, we'll see how this goes.
Okay, so
All
that's
right.
a much longer stretch before making that intersection that is happening. Yeah, normally they're cutting right down the middle after making that sharp right-hander into the center. So, yeah, that's got more loop to it, I'm going to say.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe, but okay, so normally, we'll get a good look at it coming up here. Hopp in the 16 and Miller. They make this right-hand corner into turn number 2. Here are the 3/8s. And right there, they're almost angling straight through the intersection. Now, instead, they straighten out, make a left-hand corner into a diagonal before they're going to have to make another right-hand corner, like off of where your figure 8 intersection is, and then go into the corner.
Yeah, that's definitely pretty stressful. When you're going backwards on a racetrack, you add some stress there, and then especially I've ran this road course before, not the exact course, but the
reverse normal one.
Yeah, exactly. And going through right where all the drivers are right now, through turn 2 backwards, the car's trying to get loose on you, and you're not used to having the car lean to the left when you're normally used to it leaning to the right.
Yep.
So it's very stressful. It's definitely, you got to get used to it pretty quick.
For us circle trackers, just going backwards across what we would consider the start-finish line is weird.
Yes.
Much less the turning right and
Yeah.
the leaning right. But, I mean, that's got to be super strange, being out up against the wall with your actual physical person up against the wall going backwards down the front straightaway.
Yeah, it's definitely something that you tend to not get used to because obviously it doesn't happen a lot.
No, it's never going to happen in your late model class, right?
Exactly.
You
If
know,
you
unless
do,
they open the road course up to Portland for a late model race
Yep.
again. But, like, yeah, that's just got to be a strange feeling.
And then the other thing is you're heading toward you're
Oh,
directly to the
Peyton.
pit. Oh my, that was close there.
Hang on. He's good. All right, we're good.
But you're also looking directly into the pits while you're on in this road course as well.
It's just weird. I mean, you think about it. Every other road course that we have seen or figure eight, you're always finishing off of a left-hand turn. This time you're finishing off a right-hand turn.
Yeah, yeah.
That is just weird.
So someone like Jeff Holden, who is currently running in 23rd, he has ran Hornets here before, but he also does road course racing. So for him, this is probably nothing. to
No,
him.
that'd be normal, right? But, that's weird. It's even weird when I'm playing the racing video games and I'm on a road course and I come off a right-hand turn to motor to the checkered flag and finish 17th.
Yeah.
Like, either way, it's fun. It's different. You see battle for second continuing between Gillespie in the green with black 029 and Hop the 16.
Get around the 151 once again of Daniel Rowland as Hop able to stay right with the 029 of Gillespie. Almost maybe a little bit of contact there as we're watching the 00 Dan Miller watching all unfold in front of him. And yeah, we're starting to see where Hop is good and where Gillespie is good and vice versa where they're both bad as well.
Part of me is super proud that Gillespie's been able to keep that rear bumper cover on the entire time.
Oh yeah.
I would
yeah.
not have called that because that thing started shearing off about 40 laps ago. So here's Hop trying to peek outside. Now he's going to cross over, try to steal a lane from Gillespie here. He'll be on the outside.
Oh.
Yeah, big check up there from Peyton coming off the corner. I think he was feeling pinched.
Oh yeah, definitely got a little bit of pinch there. Definitely made the right decision to back off. Don't want to hit the wall there. These cars are pretty flimsy, so they don't take hits very well compared to like an old V8 muscle car.
No, definitely not. Oh, Peyton. And I wonder if Peyton's starting to see some brake fade.
They probably brake fade, and the other thing now, the tires, a lot of them have got to be completely destroyed. You know, they really don't have it. You have a tire rule for the Hornet division, but you don't have a rule for how many you can buy. It's just how, what kind of tire you can buy, the speed rating, and then the price for them. So I bet a lot of these drivers didn't put brand new rubber on for the race. So these are probably old junk tires left over from
that you're
the year.
putting a double the length, almost double the length main event, and quadruple the amount of cornering main event
Exactly.
on. So yeah, those puppies might be screaming at this point.
There might
in
be
time.
some cord showing from a lot of these tires. But Dan Miller is starting to try to once again crack into the top three.
If I remember right, both Millers were pretty good at Road X last year, although they're good at just about everything we throw at them. So.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think Dan Miller made it into victory lane last year. I'm not 100% sure. I know for sure he won a Enduro.
He won the Enduro, absolutely. He might have won Road X last year. You're right.
I think he did.
So up and around the outside, Hop finally finding enough momentum. Now here's the scary part. Lift, buddy, lift. Yeah, into the turn. Managed to keep it up though. Look, he's side by side with Gillespie. And I wonder if Gillespie is starting to fade. And I don't know if that's even brake fade on Gillespie, but the straightaway speed is not quite what it was.
Yeah, there's something possibly going on as that bumper hits the wall, and Miller almost gets in the back of Gillespie. Miller looking to the inside, and the door gets shut on him. As, something going on with the 029 at Gillespie. It could be brake fade, it could be tires. We'll just have to watch and see what happens.
Had a long run here. It could just be straight the engine running hot at this point in time and starting to lay down a hair on him. Watch Miller continue to hunt up the back of Gillespie in the 029. Dan Miller wants a podium. He wants it bad. Might have to take off a rear bumper cover in order to do it. Our segment brought to you by Granite Construction, the proud sponsor of our Super Sprint Car Series, and celebrating over 100 years in business. Granite Construction, an award-winning company, great place to work. Find your dream job today at graniteconstruction.com.
Zach Bristol definitely setting a lot of distance between himself and the 16 of Peyton Hop. Almost, I would say, maybe 20 car lengths or so.
Yeah.
So he's definitely got a comfortable lead right then and there. as you can barely see Peyton Hop in the distance, and there'll be 2 laps to go.
How about this for Zach? Finishes the year off on a hot streak, picks up the 2nd straight Evergreen Speedway Hornet win, and can take the national championship here if this all plays out well. We'll check on that. We'll get the final answer on that during the podium, which is coming up in a bit. Meanwhile, for 4th, Miller on Miller, trying to make Thanksgiving dinner a little more awkward as they roll their way into turn number 2.
As we'll watch and see, the 77 of Miller will have the advantage, but Dan Miller able to get a good run as they're both trying to get around the 029 at Gillespie here as white flag out, 1 lap to go for the 1 of Zach Bristol.
It has been a fantastic run for Bristol, this battle for...
Nope, I guess not, sorry.
Well, okay, so 2 to go. This run for Bristol has been fantastic. As you get a look, Miller is still there. Christian's trying to put the right moves on to make it go from now. We're about, I don't know, half a lap away.
Half a
Let's
lap.
see, a right turn, a left turn. I can't even count how many turns.
I didn't even bother. I don't think I can count that high. So.
No, given my high school education, definitely counting was not a thing.
So white flag now, 1 lap to go for Zach Bristol. See if he can take home the win and then the national championship for Division 5. But that's getting close.
Careful. Probably not a risk I would have taken there, but that's me. I'm not a potential national champion. So Bristol sneaks through. The big right-hander coming up, followed by the weaving through the center. There it is. We'll see a hook around to the left. Big old loopy left right there. And 1 more right turn. To the end he goes. Zach Bristol wins Rodex. 55 lappers in the books. Check on the National Championship. Give Gillespie 2nd. Hop pulled off somewhere. Miller 3rd. Let's talk to him.
A lot unfolded there in those final few laps, but you were battling mostly with your dad. What is that like?
It's fun. Felt a little bad sticking my nose in there, but I didn't hit him, so I guess it was clean.
And which one of these tracks was your favorite tonight?
The first one. There was actually room to pass. We were going really fast down the back straight, or the 5/8, and that was incredibly fun. So I would like to run that one every time instead of the other 2.
And who would you like to thank for your performance tonight?
I gotta thank Fast Eddie's Tire Pros, Jan Northwest, Turbo Espresso, Exterior Wall Systems, B&R Drywall, Rick's Mobile AC, my Hornets Nest team. They're the best team in the whole world. And all the fans, even though they're not here anymore.
3rd place finisher tonight, driver the number 77, Christian Miller. Certainly came to life here on this variety of road courses. How much fun was it to climb back behind the wheel of a Hornet?
It was a blast. I think it was last weekend I came out in a borrowed car and I got 3rd. And then I borrowed a car and got 2nd.
Hey, you certainly put on a show out there running in and out. What was your favorite of the 3 road courses today?
The first one definitely had way more speed. We were hitting 95 on the back stretch, and it was a blast racing with Diesel. I feel super bad for taking him out in the 2nd race. My foot slipped off the brake. I still feel bad about it.
And who would you like to thank for your performance tonight?
Joseph, he let me borrow his car, and it was fun to drive.
All righty, 2nd place tonight in the Hornet race, that's Trent Gillespie. Well, 3 different courses. I think the first question has to be, which one of them was your favorite?
The last one. That car is very good at turning right hand, and our gearing was horrible on the other 2. I was like, just survive, see if we can get up there, and thankfully we did. And we were just going to save tires. I was having fun sitting behind Trent and Diesel watching battle them out, and then they got together in the lap traffic. It's like, perfect, take advantage, and let's run away with this, and thankfully we did.
Now, according to the NASCAR regional article that was posted, coming into tonight, this is the final night for national level points. That being said, should our calculations be correct, you are now the NASCAR Division 5 national champion. What is that like?
I had no idea I could pull this off. A little track in the Northwest with all the NASCAR tracks, whatnot, and yeah, I thought last week was our last race that we were able to get points, and then saw the articles like, all right, we can at least get it and see if we can leapfrog. And I mean, we won. So with all the cars that we had tonight, yeah, we definitely should take it.
It's certainly a great show. Who helps you put on stuff like that?
Tommy Candy Hibbs Automotive. I want to thank Dwight. He does all the GoPros. If you look up on YouTube, you'll probably find onboards of my car on there. Gourmet Latte, Towns Peterson LLC, my beautiful girlfriend Sarah, the 2 munchkins here. She was threatening me she didn't get this for a fast time tonight. And I know all the fans are gone, but thanks for the fans for coming out. And yeah, now we're going to go over to Wenatchee next week and see if we can show them how Evergreen does it.
Driver the number 1, Zach Bristol, your Hornet winner.
It is official. What a year for Zach Briscoe. NASCAR National Division 5 champion, as well as a Rodex winner, and now 2-time Evergreen Speedway champion in a row in the Hornets. That's a great season.
Congratulations, Zach.
Well, we have got Rodex for the Legends. Kind of a cool viewpoint there from the Mason Nelson car as they are circled around, ready to go. Let's take a look at the lineup. Dakota Grachala on the pole, the Weatherite Roofing number 27, Mason Nelson, the TriMet Ambulance number 37, make up row number 1.
The 78 of Gabe Sessler out of Everett, sponsored by Mazda of Everett. The 30B of Braden Wager out of Camino Island, sponsored by Dirt Cheap Sewer.
Row number 3 is Kyle Lang, the Phillips Law Firm 33 from Snohomish. Mike Holden, the LB Motorsports number 13.
And the 10 of Chris Thompson out of Snohomish, sponsored by Weatherite Roofing. And the 19X of Brian Grant. And it looks like we have one car going around. It was the 27 of Dakota Grachala.
So your pole sitter already facing the wrong direction. Rodex, it's a big, long course for the Legends. They grab some serious speed as they're rolling down that 5/8 back straightaway and into this transition part.
I would say this is probably one of the fastest laps, or the fastest speeds you'll ever run in a Legend car, at least here in the Pacific Northwest. As back up front, I believe it's the 78 of Gabe Sessler leading the way as he is being trailed by the 37 of Mason Nelson, and followed by the 30B of Braden Wager.
Now, this course is slightly altered from what we saw last year, and I'll describe it right now. This exit on the back straightaway, the same as it was, and this portion right here where you're coming from the 5/8 down the access road is the same as it was, and we saw some extreme speeds out of this. They go through the access road, down onto the 3/8 through turn 3 and 4. Here's where the track is going to change. They went a little bit further last year and made a sharper turn into the middle. Now they're looping more, coming back around to the left and making a slightly less sharp right turn to barrel their way into the hairpin going into turn number 2.
Definitely making it very interesting, as watch when they come off of turn number 2 and then they start turning into that access road. Those cars are very twitchy. You're going from a little bit of banking, and like what we were describing the last Hornet race, to new pavement, and it gets really twitchy for them.
We had the in-car earlier, and I think it was one of the Hornet, it was either one of the Hornet Division cars, I think it was the Hornet Division car, running the similar track to what they have here. You remember the elevation change that happened from the 5/8 to the access? Well, here in the Legends, you've got this little itty-bitty shock in that car. There's not a whole ton of shock travel in it. I wonder if those guys hit it at a certain speed, how much it's forcing that shock to its extreme limits.
Oh, I bet those shocks are screaming at them as we speak right now. Definitely between all those bumps. The 5/8 itself is very bumpy, and then you add all those different, like you said, all those elevation changes.
Right there.
Exactly, right there. That is probably the most extreme on this road course and probably on the racetrack altogether. So they're feeling every single bump that they go over, especially then the other thing is the figure 8 track has a lot of bumps as well. More so they're more gradual bumps.
Sure.
And you want to be careful with those because those are the ones that definitely get you.
And what this course has done this year has eliminated, there's drainage in the middle of the figure 8 course. Not in the middle of it, but close enough. Last year the course took you right through it as Mason Nelson taking a look at the wrong direction. We'll fire back up. This year it doesn't take you over the drainage. So you have less elevation change through the middle as you're getting ready to make that hairpin on the left.
Yeah, that was probably why they moved it to not tear up race cars, because it's probably a good 6 or 7 inch drop when you go over the drain. So you don't want to tear up your race car and you don't want to tear up the drain either.
No, not at all. So Sessler is leading, and he is leading by a bit here. As you're looking at second place, Braden Wager and Kyle Lang getting after it for that position. And Lang fading a little bit behind Wager right now with the 13 of Mike Holden trying to chase him down.
Yeah, Mike Holden definitely sitting, it looks like in the 4th place spot. As definitely interesting to look in Kyle Lang's point of view. It looks like there's I'm either thinking it's a thermometer or some type of tack that you see on the seat there. It's been saying between 64, 61. I'm thinking that might be the temperature, and it was pretty cold that night, so definitely, yeah, there's something going on there. I think it is a temperature gauge.
Interesting point of view. I mean, with the GoPro mount, then you'll be able to watch what that is the entire time, on top of collecting other data that you're going through. Just a strange place to mount that.
But the other thing is temperature. You want to know the temperature outside. Cars tend to do better. Well, everyone's different. A night like this where it's 63, 64 degrees, you tend to actually, it'll probably be one of the fastest the track will be, because the tires won't get as hot, the track won't get as greasy, so the tires can grip. So nights like this is definitely when you see track record speeds. It's definitely, and personally for racers, it's one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite times of the year to race because it's not hot.
So on top of that, depending on the air quality out there, your motors will run different in different air quality situations.
As something going south with the 33 of Kyle Lang, he was having issues all day, and unfortunately, it looks like that is going to correlate into the main event as well.
So Kyle Lang, our track champion, ends up slowing down. A hard-earned, finally, track championship for Kyle Lang. He's been gunning for that thing for a while. Knock him out. Let's bring everybody back together as we've got 18 laps to go here. Road X for the INEX Legends. So come off the corner. Gabe Sessler, Braden Wager, and we're green once again.
As Gabe Sessler will regain the lead as the 37 of Mason Nelson grabbing on to the back of the field. Here comes the 13 of Mike Holden as well, trying to regain into the top three, as we got the 27 of Grachella as well. But here comes the 30 of Wager, and he'll grab the lead.
Nice job, Braden Wager, slicing his way up into the top spot, shuffling the 2023 track champion in Sessler back to second place. Back straight away, Holden and Grachella battling for position.
And a good save by the 13 of Holden. He got really, really loose going through 1 and 2 and was able to save it. And the 78 of Gabe Sessler, he's been having issues all day with shifting. Car doesn't want to go, I believe, into gear. So, and he told me earlier today, I think you have to shift about 13 times on this track.
Oh, wow.
So it's definitely, he's having some issues there.
Well, he was losing ground to Wager. He's picking it back up now as we are going to watch that battle for first and second as we roll into a commercial timeout. We'll be back to finish off the INEX Legends on Road X. That's coming up next here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. You're watching the main event for the INEX Legends here on Home Track Heroes. This is Road X here on the day. We're on Seattle 11. My name is Caleb Hart, being joined by Chad Fitzpatrick. Look at Braden Wager. He's got gloves on. Thank goodness.
Oh,
Finally,
yeah.
we get in car with a guy with gloves on. It's about time.
If you don't wear gloves on Home Track Heroes, you will be scolded.
Well, I call you out for it every time.
That is cheap insurance.
Let's put fireproof stuff on all the rest of our body and leave our hands uncovered. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, what kind of sense does this make?
You already spent thousands. Might as well just spend a little bit more.
Braden Wager's only 13 years old. He gets it.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. He might not have a choice.
Well, okay, so Paul, his dad, who's working on the car with the backing of Dirt Cheap Sewer. Colin's a fantastic guy there. But Paul's your quarter midget trainer over at the Washington Quarter Midget Association. And so he's sitting there watching young kids in quarter midgets doing 20 miles an hour, being fireproof stuff, head to toe. Why? Because race cars are dangerous and fire is bad.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
All you adults out there who run something, gloves, they're not super cheap, but you'd rather have a $100 pair of gloves than burned up mangled hands.
Exactly, exactly. When I started out here at Evergreen Speedway, I was 14. I was pretty much told, you will be racing with gloves on. I don't care how old you are. If I even hear it today, I'm 28 years old. My parents said, you will race with gloves.
I had gloves on, and they weren't even fireproof gloves the first time I went out to hot lap a car. They were the old mechanics gloves, right? Not knowing any better, but I'm like, I need something to at least protect my hands. And then over the years, as you get more educated in the safety and education of stuff, like, oh yeah, fire bad.
Oh,
you
yeah.
A real pair of gloves. You don't have to have anything fancy, but at least to have a layer or two that if something bad happens, that's between you and your skin. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. When I first started racing out here, the Hornet guys did not even need to wear racing suits. A lot of people I race with just wore long sleeve shirts.
And jeans. In some instances, yeah. It's race car safety is part of my job in doing retail sales and where I work, and you know, I'd say, well, we can replace any part of the race car. We can't replace you, so do everything you can to prevent injury. And then you still have people going out wearing cotton socks and cotton t-shirts underneath their clothes. It's like, why would you put fireproof on everywhere else and then have something underneath it that melts?
Yep,
That doesn't necessarily make sense either. So, word to the wise, if you're going to fireproof top to bottom, socks, undergarments, undershirt, they make it all, plus a nice 2-layer suit, preferably. You can do 1 layer, but you should do 2, and a nice helmet, and fireproof shoes and fireproof gloves.
And race shoes as well, yes.
Yeah, rat mode over.
Grizz and Jim Fody, I'm talking to you.
Tell me they don't wear their cowboy boots.
Nope.
Okay. If I need to sponsor Grizz and Fody a pair of fireproof shoes, I can probably pull that out of the budget.
We probably, yeah.
All right, we'll figure that out. 1 to go in a race dominated by Braden Wager. Wager untouchable. After he got to the lead, he just streaked away from Sessler and Holden, never really able to catch up to him. So
No, he's been gone this whole race. So he got by, like I said, he got by Sessler, and he's been gone. So I believe, would this be win number 2 for him?
he's got 1. Yeah,
One so
he's got
far?
at least 1.
And this is
so.
$1,000 for him too.
That's right. So big night to win. Congratulations. That's an awesome W for Braden Wager, one of the youngsters that it feels like he's been around forever, but he is still a very young racer.
Oh, yeah.
Comparatively, Sessler ends up with the 2nd. Mike Holden in his return to legend ends up running 3rd. So we'll talk to him on the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium.
3rd place tonight, driver of the number 13 on this occasion. That is Mike Holden. So, 2 races on this track, 2 podiums for you. That's got to be pretty good.
I really like the road course. I hope they keep doing it. That's kind of what I grew up doing, so it's a lot of fun. And those guys got pretty good. Brandon Wager, he really stepped his game, saw what we were doing last time, and learned a lot. And so it's fun that we got a few more guys running up front. And obviously Gabe road races go-karts all the time, so he's fast.
Excited to take another shot at it next year?
Oh, you bet, yeah.
And who would you like to thank for getting out here tonight?
Well, Jeremiah Johnson and Trisha Johnson, they let me race their car tonight, so that was pretty cool. LB Motorsports, Finati Machinery in Woodinville, and we'll come back and do it again next year.
Driver of the number 13 tonight, that's Mike Holden. All right, Braden, we tackled here once again the whole enchilada, the Dino Claw, whatever you want to call it. You conquered it here tonight, holding off Gabe Sessler. What was that like?
It was a struggle. We had motor issues championship night. We were still trying to figure it out. We thought we had it figured out. I started having a few issues towards the end of the race, but I was able to bring it home still.
Did a great job out there. Can we expect you back in a Legend next year?
I'm hoping so. I like this road course. I feel pretty good on it, and I got some confidence back again.
Who helps you get in here week in, week out?
Franciscan, Colin King, Dirt Cheap Sewers, Pacific Street Rods, For Sale, Central Welding Supply. My mom, my dad, Lance and Matthew Hughesby, James Zerhire, and Tracy DeYoung, and I think that's it.
Driver the number 30B, Braden Wager. You're a race winner in the INX Legends.
Well, good to see a smiling and happy Braden Wager after he takes the Road X win. We have one more road course to do, and that is the Buzz Inn Steakhouse Stinger 8. It's one of our favorite divisions here on Home Track Heroes. Let's take a look at your lineup. It is the 151, Cody Weldon out of Arlington, sponsored by All Ply Roofing LLC. MB8, it's Captain Chaos, Jacob Funk out of Mill Creek.
Second row inside the 102, Randy Moffitt out of Everett, sponsored by B&R Drywall. The 195, Devin Jenkins out of Maltby, sponsored by PNW Traffic Control.
Row 3 is Derek Myers, the 73 of Arlington, in the LRA Landscaping car. Mike Hathaway starts in row 3 as well. Rep and Welding Your Rail, sponsored the 46 out of Marysville.
And double duty driver, car number 16, Peyton Hopp out of Monroe, sponsored by Bardall. The 85, Hunter Jenkins out of Monroe, sponsored by Resch Printing.
Final row, Doug Wilkinson, the 25 DW, going Stinger 8 racing here tonight. And next to him, it is your track champion, 21 of Matt Somerville, out of Monroe, the Airport Wellington Muffler car.
This will be fun. Double, I guess you would say, dual intersections here. So follow the pace car because, and I was watching them now, I'm glad they had the pace car out because it looks very confusing if you don't know where to go.
Yeah, I myself am already confused, but that is something. So as you watch this course and the double intersection pass, like let you guys know that our program brought to you by Gene Johnson Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. And our segment is brought to you by Washington's Lottery. Created in 1982, the Washington Lottery established to generate revenues for state programs through the sale of lottery products. Lotto scratch games give players a choice of more than 30 games a year to experience Washington's Lottery. Dream big.
Well, whoever wins this should probably go buy a lottery ticket because they will survive the dual intersection main event here off turn number 4. We are green.
All right, the first of the left-hand corners in, and
there we
let's
go.
Make another left. Wait for it. Captain Chaos is taking the lead.
And
let's make
another
another
one.
left. And
So this would be the first intersection right there that you go through.
Now here's the first right, and she's a big loopy right.
Yep. So now this would be almost like the regular figure 8, but we got trouble with the 195 at Jenkins losing power.
Okay, and then around the, quote, North Pole for the final. So it's a lot of lefts and a couple of rights, but it still ends up working. Just wait till they get started spread out.
Yes.
That's what we're waiting on.
What we need is Cody Weldon to start shooting the gap again.
That's right. The man without fear, Cody Weldon, shall fear no intersection.
Cody, we love it. Just keep doing what you do.
Let's just get Weldon and Funk on the polar opposites of the racetrack, and then the chaos will truly commence.
Most definitely. Uh-oh.
He's sideways. They make a Captain Chaos sandwich, and unfortunately, Moffitt has to do it 2 times over, as Hop and Somerville will both get him. As you got in-car from Peyton, albeit a smidge dark, because it's off of his bumper, as you're looking at Somerville all over him. Interesting GoPro placement, Brandy.
Yes, most definitely. As we got a good battle shaping up, I believe, is that for the lead? 102, is Moffitt in the lead at this point?
No, Moffitt lost those spots.
He did, yes, he did.
That
Yes.
should be your lead battle.
That is right there, right up front. I was a little bit farther back. So the 16 of Hop is your leader, followed by the 21 of Matt Somerville, your 2022 or 2024 Stinger 8 champion. So we go through the first intersection of Doom, which will be right now.
Okay, yeah, I see it. I see what we got going on. And then here's your second one, based on, and this is your normal intersection based off of your North Pole corner that's coming up.
Correct, yes. So
Double the intersection, double the fun.
well, I'm thinking now, yeah, you got to go through the intersection actually 4 times, essentially.
1.
Yep, 1.
2.
And then 3 and 4, your regular.
Yep, as Somerville is making his way up and through. So you're right, double the intersection. It's 4 passes instead of your normal 2 on any given lap. Yeah, things are getting a little bit tighter. Somerville sneaks in front of Hop. He'll set the pace now, but that means he's got to be the first guy leading them through in every intersection interaction.
The other thing that I'm starting to look at too, you do not want to go wide going through that north turn because you might, this is going to be close.
It got close indeed.
And watch where the 21 of Somerville is going to turn right now. You do not want to go way too wide out there because you're going to meet someone head on if you go out a little bit too far.
Yeah, that could be a big problem. There's a look at Moffitt trying to come through. You'll make your tight run through here, through the South Pole. It's a unique track design. I actually like it. I like it a lot more than the big, long intersection pass that we had last year.
Yeah, I like this one better. There's a lot more chances to get closer. I wouldn't say hits. We don't want to say that, but we want to see the close calls in the intersection.
It's figure 8 racing. Part of that is the adventure of the intersection. And once in a while, somebody's got to get tagged just to remind you can't just always flat-footed through there, right?
No. Especially, I've already touched with it in the Hornet cars or the Hornet race. These cars cannot take a hit.
No.
They are. I mean, I swear, if you kick a front of a Hornet car, you have to put on the frame rack. So.
You make it through. We got one stopped. Is that Peyton?
That is Peyton Hop. He had issues in the Hornet race, and unfortunately, that has now moved on into the Stinger 8 race.
So that sets Matt Somerville way out and on his own. And we will have to take a commercial break and find out what happens at the end of the Stinger 8 main event. The Buzzin' Steakhouse Stinger 8 on track here on Road X on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. Things are as they were when we come back to Home Track Heroes. As you watch Matt Somerville, he is on absolute easy mode here. Rolling around on our Road X course here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. I'm Caleb Hart. He's Chad Fitzpatrick, and I don't know if he put in the Konami code, if he gave her the old up, up, down, down, left, right, BA start to get him 30 extra lives, but Matt Somerville has definitely just been cruising.
It is definitely working out for him. That's going to be close. And we got a hit.
Cody Weldon, by the skin of his teeth, he ends up getting by, and Hathaway was kind of tight in behind him there. But that's all right. We're good. Everybody drives along.
He's so far gone, it did not affect him whatsoever. He'll have 12 laps to go, or it'll be 11 this time by. But I would say if he was on an oval track, he would be on just a regular Saturday night cruise. But, that does not exist on a figure-8 track.
Again, 4 intersection passes a lap coming up here. Here's the first part of it. Got some room ahead of 7th place Hathaway there. There's the second one. And then this loop will give you 3, although this isn't really an intersection. It's just careful, there's guys coming through right
and then
there's
the
where
intersection.
it is. And here comes number 4 off the corner. But you see out of the North Pole, he has a clean run, at least through that portion of the course.
It's definitely clean and clear out in front for him right now. He'll put another lap down, looks like on the 25 of Doug Wilkinson. As we ride along with the 102 Randy Moffitt. One thing I wanted to tell you about this regular figure-8 track, you will be able to look in the intersection to see who you're going to join. Well, unfortunately with this, you don't get that. You don't even know who you're going to meet at the intersection now because the track is so big and different configuration. Matt probably has no idea who he will see at the intersection.
And so here's the second part of that, though, as I'm sitting there watching through the Moffitt run. Correct it, Randy, you got this. Is that if you count it 1, 2, 3, 4 from the time you cross the start-finish line, the gap between intersection 1 and 2 is like 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
It's a tight little turnaround, and they're running, I'm going to say 18-second laps, maybe, in and around.
I think they were pushing that.
Yeah, the normal figure-8 course is about a 16, 17-second lap in an outlaw. So
I want to say they were, that's going to get close. I believe they're running about 23 seconds because I think a good lap time on a regular figure-8 track is about 19 seconds for a Stinger 8.
Either way, your point of time, bang, 1 1,000, 2 1,000. So you're 2 seconds between intersection 1 and 2. And you have this little bit of a break. You got to make sure you don't get too far around that left corner on. And then your intersection about 5, 6 seconds later after that.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's an interesting timing for when you're used to 8 seconds, 9 seconds, intersection, 8 seconds, 9 seconds, intersection. It kind of throws your pacing off.
You definitely cannot get into a rhythm on this racetrack.
Well, Somerville doesn't even look like he needs rhythm.
I don't think, he's just, whoa, that was close there too.
But that was second place he was just crossing.
Yes,
so.
yeah, he just out there trying to just count some laps and just try not to get into trouble because watching his point of view, it's very hard to see what's coming at you in through that first intersection there because look at those lights, they're very, very bright.
Yeah, so there's your traditional intersection off the South Pole. You're coming through, and right now you're trying to look over here to the right. Am I clear? I'm clear, good. And now you've got to make that quick bank back to the left and get them essentially looking into turn 3 of the 3/8/5/8.
And then now you're trying to look through the intersection to see if you're going to meet with anyone coming through the small intersection.
It's complicated, that's for sure.
You're definitely not looking straight ahead. You're looking all over the place.
Head on a swivel the whole way around for Somerville. As he's been clean, he's made it so far. There's his nearest competitor. Although, I guess you do get a long point in time that you can see the scoreboard there coming down that run if you wanted to chance glancing at it.
Oh, yeah. When I race in this division, mainly in the Hornet division, you have no spotters, so it's you rely on that scoreboard to see a lot of times where you're at and what lap you're on.
Who's second? Okay, who do I need to worry for? Oh, there he is in the intersection. Okay, I got a while, right? So Somerville, I don't want to say taking it easy, but he has, other than the one incident, had a clean roll of this.
So far, it's been very, very clean for him. As we'll watch and see him go through the small intersection once again, clean again, but the hard part is you don't know if he's going to get to the regular intersection and meet with somebody there And he does have a little bit of traffic, but they're too far gone at this point.
He could manage this, right? I mean, if he recognizes that second place that's crossing that portion of the intersection in front of him, he could certainly go into race management mode and go 3/4 throttle.
Oh yeah,
most of the way, right?
He could even, stop, which I don't think I've ever seen Matt Somerville stop in the intersection as well.
Yeah, but he could full brake if he needed to just to avoid a hit.
Oh yeah. Matt Somerville definitely likes to shoot the gap as well in the intersection.
Well, it's been successful for him, as there's Moffitt in second, and I believe it's a ways back to Myers in third, so pretty well spread out here as we're closing, but not quite, down to our white flag lap yet. Should be seeing that tick up any second now, as heck, Moffitt's closing in on, what is your, let's say, 6th place car, 7th place car in Hathaway.
Yeah, and I believe the top 3 are actually the only cars on the lead lap at this point. So Somerville is definitely by far the fastest race car on the track.
Whoa, that was careful, Mike Hathaway. Yeah, that got narrow real quick. Nobody's out of danger yet.
So white flag, 1 lap to go for Matt Somerville here on this very, very interesting figure 8 road course. Take it away, Caleb.
It's something, that's for darn sure. Somerville down the back straightaway? No. Into the 3rd intersection pass right here. Makes it with no drama. Rolling up on the back of one of the Jenkins cars at the very end. The Weldon car at the very end. Through one more time. He'll make one long left-hand turn and take a check flag. Complete what's been a fantastic season here for Matt Somerville, albeit 60 minutes of fear still lingers for this class. Randy Moffitt has been on the podium this year. This will be a nice, clean second for him as he makes the intersection pass the last time. To the podium we go.
All right, Derek, 3rd place tonight, hard-fought battle. You tell me, 2 intersections or 1? What do you prefer?
I mean, I'll take the 2, but I mean, one's good, but 2 is fun, definitely 2.
Yeah, different challenge for you guys tonight, but come home 3rd. What did you guys put into that car to bring it home on the podium?
Just hard work and teamwork, really. I mean, all these guys helped me out, and that's where I got. I mean, got 3rd, great hard-fought race with Randy. Wish I would have got him, but, they're just racing, and he had the better upper hand.
And who do you want to thank for helping to get the car out every week?
Boney Brothers, LRA Landscaping, Bud Barton Glass, Bulldog Haven, and my family.
Let's give it up then. 3rd place tonight, Derek Myers. All right, I've asked everyone else, so I have to ask you.
Yeah.
1 intersection or 2?
Oh my goodness, I can't choose. That was literally fun. That was a lot of fun. Only thing I wasn't too keen on was, as you're coming towards the south, having to really kink your neck to see who's coming at you. But other than that, that was fun. That was a lot of speed, a lot of fun.
Yeah, trying new things out. What did you guys have to do to get that car ready to run this week, race this week?
Well, I didn't take it out of the trailer since last week, so it was a lot of work here today. We've messed with tire pressures. We messed with everything.
And who do you want to thank for helping to get out every week?
Well, we'll start off with my daughter here, Sarah. This kid right here helps me out. She's my tire gal. I've got a lot of people to thank. We'll start with everybody up in the stands. Woo! We're going to go with, I've got B&R Drywall, co-owner of the car. I've got, Frost Towing. Aaron Frost is the greatest guy. You guys need a tow, you call Frost Towing. Let's see, I've got a whole list of other people. All About Auto Wrecking, and I'm going to go with that. Oh, Joe's Racing. We're going to go Joe's Racing, too. Sorry.
All right, let's give it up. 2nd place tonight, Randy Moffitt. All right, Matt, you were shooting 2 intersections tonight. Just walk through. How was that fun? Was it different? What did you think of that course?
I've done some crazy things before. That definitely takes the cake. I probably don't want to do that again, but I'm glad I could say I did it once and I won it, because that was definitely insane. I wouldn't have wanted there to be more cars out there.
Yeah, at some points there was action everywhere on track. When you have to do that in 30 laps, it's almost like a war of attrition. When you're running by yourself, what goes through your head?
I was really focused on multitasking because I was struggling with that when I was out there, because every once in a while you just forget to look at the other intersection. Yeah, it actually happens.
And who do you want to thank for helping to get the car out week in, week out?
I got Wayne on the tires in the pits today. John helped set this car up. Riley was helping set this car up yesterday before we showed up. And this trophy's for Brandy. She's been doing all the GoPro and all the film work so everybody can enjoy this on TV. And then, of course, I got my family, the kids here, and my mom and dad. They're always out here to support it, so it's good night.
Let's give it up. Race winner tonight, Matt Somerville.
Well, victory for Matt Somerville in Road X for the Stinger 8s. He's got one more big one left here at the end of the year. Stinger 8s coming up at the Big Ed Ritchie Figure 8 National, or sorry, not the 60 Minutes of Fear for the Figure 8 Auto Racing Club. That's coming up. That'll be 2 weeks away here on Home Track Heroes.
Oh, yes.
So be ready to tune in for that. We will have bus races, I believe, on that show as well. So this is the second to last bus race. There is no bus race champion, but always we know that John Peterson will not be it. That's the important thing. He is in the blue bus that is sitting out in front of the field. You have multiple colors of green, of which the lighter green is Conley Graber, and the darker green is the name made for racing, at least bus racing, that is, J. Van Buskirk in the 48 Van Bus. You've got the flag bus, Jeff Ritter, and then it is the real race truck driver. Cody Cooey is in the Wildcat 7 bus. So
look at that. Here we go.
All right, so bus racing finishes off Road X tonight here at Home Track Heroes. We couldn't do it without Gene Johnson, plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical. They have sponsored the show all year long. Gene Johnson, plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical. The name you can trust since 1976 for quality service and peace of mind. Visit them today, GeneJohnsonServices.com. As they say, we are on it just like John Peterson was on the gas pedal early. Green's out.
So does that mean we're going to black flag him?
He fears no black flag.
Yeah.
When you are the master of the black flag, you no longer fear it. Right?
Exactly.
It would be like threatening a black belt in Kung Fu with Kung Fu.
Yeah.
Poorly constructed Kung Fu.
Yeah.
I know Kung Fu. Sure you do. Padawan. So forward goes Van Buskirk as Graber a little slow early in the lighter of the green-colored buses. Moving his way forward is Cooey. The real race truck driver has made his way into third in the early going here in bus racing.
Yeah, definitely the man on the move right now, but here comes J. Van Buskirk. In all seriousness, he's probably won easily 30 or 40 bus figure 8 main events.
However many we've awarded him over the past couple of years, I don't think it's going to be enough.
Oh, it'll never.
I think every time you pass John, it should be worth 2 wins.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so.
What would it be if you hit him in the intersection?
7 wins.
7 wins? Okay.
7 wins.
Flip him? 10?
Infinity.
Okay, infinity.
Yeah, infinity wins. Although, yeah, look at that. Look at JP rallying back to the inside. Almost getting a little gangster lean in the bus as he went around to take that spot back from Van Buskirk in the Van Bus.
We're watching Cooey here sitting in third. We'll watch and see when these buses start to spread out who will stop in the intersection and who will not.
You know, normally we have 7 to 8 buses. It's kind of hard to track who your leader is in second. That's why we just arbitrarily award it. But today...
This time we can actually figure out who's the leader.
Yeah, we might make this a legitimate bus race afternoon.
And
knowing that John's not going to win, it makes me even happier.
Yeah. So out front, it is the 48 J. Van Buskirk. And
Careful, Conley.
Oh.
Made it. We're good. We're all right. They're spaced out just the right amount. I wonder if these guys are going through and, checking air pressures. Making little...
They might. Oh, a little contact again with the 48 of Buskirk and the whatever number he is, the Peterson.
It's a 59 bus.
It's a 59, okay.
Yes.
Now, is that the same bus? I remember he was driving a bus that he actually went to school to. I don't know if that was... Okay, I'm
Maybe
sure
that one's been retired.
I'm sure it has. I'm sure it got destroyed.
Oh, nasty. Nasty getting into the corner. Look at him push all the way out. Lift or we're throwing that black flag. He'll ignore it, but lift or we're throwing it.
He listened to you.
Eventually.
Yeah,
I had to peg the mixer board to get him to listen. I mean, geez. All right, so Peterson unofficially taking the lead back over. We could throw a black flag on him and just penalize him anyways, right?
Yep, black flag.
Okay, yeah, JD doesn't need to do that. We'll just virtually do that for him. So
we're hand scoring up here is what we're doing.
That's right. They don't have transponders on.
Nope.
We got this.
Writing down every time they go by.
All right, so we're just going to penalize JP. He's now going to be sent to the back for rough driving.
Okay.
And- yeah, okay, that works. So Van Buskirk's back to the lead, and that puts Cooey in second, and Graber in third?
I believe.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah, yeah.
no. That puts, let's see.
That
JP's a lap down, so there's Van Buskirk. That puts Ritter in second.
He's
and Cooey
actually
in third.
I think Ritter's hasn't gotten past. I believe they lapped him, so I believe he's sitting in fourth. So we'll put Cooey in second.
Okay, we'll go Cooey in second for sure.
Yes.
We'll go Graber in third. Why not?
Yeah,
That's
we'll
good
do that.
enough.
And we'll see if we can get a little bit of intersection action
Oh,
here.
careful, things
Uh-oh.
get crazy. And we barely missed
Oh.
it. It's all right.
Just a little hit. Just a little hit won't hurt
Oh,
anybody.
look at that. Look at him just
Oh.
straight driving through people. Straight driving through. He's even got like the all-white uniform, the all-white helmet. He's trying to be the Stig of bus racing.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Down to the inside, just leaning on Conley. Conley who's done nothing to him.
No.
No, but nothing but supportive. That's all right. Just going to push him around all the way through. Now, see, you got to lift. Look out.
Uh-oh.
Takes him all the way around and gets repassed by Van. So now he's a lap down.
Yep. So next time this happens, because we know there will be a next time, when Conley gets dumped, he needs to put it in reverse.
Yes.
Put it in reverse and try to dump him back.
Turn him into the dump truck.
Yep.
I like it. So Van Buskirk is your leader, and Cooey trying to run him down. You know, the real truck driver, we should have like theme music for him.
Yes.
It should be the old Hulk Hogan Real American theme music. So you can just use, I am a real, and instead of American, you can sing truck driver. I am a real truck driver.
I'm thinking more of Eastbound and Down.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Rolling up and trucking.
Uh-oh.
Oh, JP's trying to get his lap back here.
And,
see, look, he can use the brakes.
So if you
Proof.
hit in the intersection, because I am the official scorer right now for the buses.
You are.
If you hit in the intersection, you get a lap back.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, well, he's trying to naturally get that lap back right now, which is...
Exactly. You know, we're changing the rules as we go here. So next time we do this at the pit meeting, I'll tell him.
Okay, now, if he gets his lap back and then hits a guy in the intersection too, does he get plus 1 lap? He's now ahead
You
by
know
a
what?
lap?
Yeah, because probably he'll need that lap because he'll be done.
Yeah, all right, I'll give that to you. He has no cover over the rear motor in that thing, which is slightly dangerous.
A little dangerous for the person behind him, but
Well,
you know what?
somebody wanted to
we
get
need
a
to
little-
keep that motor. I mean, we got to keep these diesel motors going. These are expensive rigs.
He was headhunting Graber through that intersection. I saw it.
Yeah.
It was close. Although at the same time, all somebody would have to do is get their front bumper up in the back and give him a little love, and, you know, can end his race.
Oh yeah.
That
Oh
quickly.
yeah. You got to be careful with these.
Graber has got his emergency lights on, by the way, which I appreciate.
You know, I think the next bus race, maybe next year, we need to get white flag out. Not for John Peterson.
No,
We're
no.
going to say for Jay Van Buskirk.
Yes. We
Next
can throw
year-
the white flag whenever we want.
I'll drive
so.
one and you'll announce it. How about that?
Yeah, if I wasn't retired, I would seriously consider coming out for bus racing. I'm retired. But you drive one, I will call it. It's a thing.
No, you'll be the passenger.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
From in
Exactly.
cockpit?
Well, you'll announce it. One
All
lap
right.
to go.
All right, so here we go.
Oh, there
Yes!
it is. There's
there
the
it
black.
is. There's the black. Beautiful. All right, so now officially, JD finally listened to us.
Look at that.
There's your winner, Jay Van Buskirk in the Jay Van Bus. Takes the W. See, I knew it. I knew that's how that was going to go down.
Perfect.
I don't know if Ritter ever unlapped himself, but let's give
No.
him second.
Yeah,
and
we'll
let's give
give him
Cooey third. That'll work. I'm in for it. So the bus racing is done. Again, one more night for bus racing, and it's coming up 2 weeks here on the show as JP pulls into the middle to start, I don't know, hand signaling JD down trackside. Fun show here, Chad. We got more coming up here on Home Track Heroes. 2 more weeks here of Season 5 of the program. Next week, the Ben White comes in. We do DriftCon after dark. Kind of fun
Nice.
to watch those guys do what they do in the dark. And then 2 weeks from now, the big Ed Ritchie 60 minutes of FEAR. That's Figure 8 Auto Racing. All 3 divisions are going to be in action. Yes, the Super Stocks have their own race this year. Big money on the line. Stinger 8s, Super Stock Figure 8s, and the Outlaws for the big Ed Ritchie Trophy. We're also going to bring in a number of other classes as well. Mini Bump to Pass and more on the agenda. For Chad Fitzpatrick, for Derek at the controls and all of our camera crew, my name is Caleb Hart. We'll see you here next Sunday night on Seattle 11 for more Home Track Heroes.
Thanks for watching Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. Join us next week for more great racing from Evergreen Speedway.